Welcome back, guys, to that thing we do when we do that thing. How you guys been? I've been busy. They feel the need to add free mud with every bag of mulch they sell. They have a habit of, when they load the trailers, they'll load them at such a point back from the front that sometimes the pallets have a tendency to sit right over top of the tires, which they didn't do too bad this time because the center of the pallet, it's right here, so it's not like they put it right over top of the tire. But I'll go ahead and show you my secret sauce of how I deal with that. So I'll take 2 straps for the 2 pallets, this one and the one on the other side of it, and I'll kind of crisscross the straps. That way you got one in the front, one in the back, and neither one of them are right over top of the tire. But the best way to do that is to start with the back one. Try to run it through the rub rail. If you can't get it through the rub rail, it might be a problem. But I have ways of dealing with that. You want to do the one in the back before the one in the front, because simply just because of the order that you're going to be taking them off in when you make your delivery. So when I throw this one, I'll throw it kind of at an angle to go toward the front of the one that's on the other side, kind of like that, and I'll leave that one for last. Check this out. Won't fit, right? Watch. What do you think? You like that? Doesn't always work though. Okay, now for this one, remember, like I said, I was throwing it toward the front corner on this side. It's such a piece of shit trailer. We're gonna do it like that. I'm gonna pull it tight. Now this is important because the strap is at an angle. It's imperative that you run it through the rub rail so it hits this piece right here. It's gonna get caught right there, which is gonna keep it away from this hook on the winch. I'm gonna pull it all the way out and then run it through like that. You'll see that you see how it's kind of getting caught right here, and it's holding the strap off of this piece. You don't want it going over this. Also, when you're crisscrossing straps like this, I'm gonna run the other one like going over in that direction. When you're doing this, it's imperative that you always tighten the one that goes on first down all the way before you start tightening the second one. Because if not, the second one will be too tight, and when you start pulling on the one that's underneath that one, the one that's on top, it'll do several things, but it'll mess whatever you're tightening down up. If it's plastic, it'll rip it up. And it'll only tighten it on the winch side. It won't pull any of the slack out on the buckle side. So that's nice and tight. Now I'm gonna put the top strap over this one now. But you guys see what I'm saying, like crisscrossed. And this way you've got your winches offset from the top of that tire. Because the thing is, your suspension compresses. If you hit a bump or something, you're gonna lose clearance right here, and then you know the tire is gonna make contact with your strap, and it'll burn your strap up and possibly even burn all the way through it while you're driving down the road. It's very dangerous. So that's why I go to that measure and do that. There's other ways to work around it. You can use portable straps. You don't have to use these winches, but this is just the quickest way to do it, in my opinion. Because that other strap is already tight, you see how it's kind of making a rut on the top side of that stuff? Well, this one, you want to try to keep it out of that rut. You want to try to get this strap to make its own rut. I'll show you what I mean. Might be kind of unavoidable on this side, but we'll see what we can do. Kind of pull it toward the front so that it's still at an angle on this side. Again, same deal with this piece right here. It's gonna keep the strap from moving over to this side of the winch. In theory, anyway, it might not work out perfectly like you want it to, but let's see. Now when I tightened down on the top strap, it made this one come a little bit loose. but there's really not much you can do about that. Not really. Another thing you gotta watch out for sometimes these straps like to slip off of the corner of the pallet. So like this, I had it up there and it slipped when I was tightening it down. And well, just be careful about stuff like that, because if you're putting all your weight on that cheater bar and something slips and it loses all that tension, guess what? Your face could possibly go right into this. If you're pushing down on it and that thing comes loose and you go forward because you're putting all that pressure on it, that's not going to feel very good. So just be careful. I about busted my ass at a truck stop one time trying to tighten some lumber down, and it slipped like that on me. And I about ate the concrete. Oh, another thing I didn't even point out is like this broom, it comes in handy for a lot of stuff, not just sweeping the deck off. See what I was saying? There's two separate ruts now for each strap on this pallet. That's what I was trying to do. Trying to explain. Woo, yeah, it is hot out there. Man, it ain't even June yet. It feels like July. Flatbedders. Much love, y'all. Give you mad props. There's definitely an art and a science to it. And though it is not my first choice of fields in the area of truck driving itself, I will say that it's one of the most unappreciated areas of truck driving, which is already unappreciated in itself. But flatbedders, man, you guys, you work your asses off for next to no recognition. And you, I mean, I don't even think other truck drivers realize how much work goes into flatbedding. Unless you do food service, then you might understand. But yeah, just wanted to say that. I'm going up to Home Depot in Lilburn, which is in Gwinnett County, and figured you guys might want to come along with me on my little journey. It won't take that long. Then again, we do have to worry about things like traffic and stuff. So, and if you guys haven't noticed this ramp, I don't think I pointed it out to you. Even though I've been coming here just about every day for the past, God, 5 months. That ramp right there, those mulch trucks, they back up onto it. They drop their trailer and then they activate the hydraulic hinge on that thing. And that, after they pull their bobtail away from it, that whole thing goes up like that. Tilts back to empty out their trailers. I guess it's just a cheaper way of handling it than putting a hydraulic piston on every single trailer. But anyway, yeah, the first week I started working here in January, one of those drivers actually forgot to set his brakes after he backed up onto that ramp. He got out of his truck, he jumped out of it, I guess to uncouple, and truck started rolling forward, and it rolled all the way down that ramp, all the way across the little road here into the lot where all the drop trailers are, and it slammed into a flatbed. broke the landing gear on the flatbed, and it was loaded. It knocked all the mulch and stuff that was loaded down on the ground. It was some carnage. Lilburn. It's another city in Gwinnett County, which if you guys don't know anything about Gwinnett County, it's actually one of the biggest counties in Georgia. Also one of the wealthiest counties in Georgia, if not the most. Thankfully, it's on like this side of Gwinnett County, like the side that's facing us, and it's not on the north side. It's closer to Rockdale County, which is just north of here, which we're going to be driving through to get up there. But one thing I wanted to point out in this video is there are some interesting factors in the roads in Gwinnett County. Typically, most places you go to in Georgia, as far as like roads that trucks are allowed to get on, the trucks will be confined to US or state routes, and then the smaller roads are no access roads for trucks unless there are like special circumstances like bypass roads and stuff like that. I'm not saying there aren't certain roads in particular counties that trucks aren't allowed on and that it has to be a state route or a US route, but most of these roads are being maintained by the county. Typically the county doesn't want to give trucks access onto those roads because, you know, trucks are heavy and they'll wear the road out much faster. But if you go to a county like Gwinnett, you'll find that there are a lot of roads that aren't state or US routes that trucks are actually allowed on. It's kind of funny if you compare Gwinnett County with Henry County. Yes, Gwinnett County is much bigger than Henry County, but you know, it might actually even be more. There might be more industry in Henry County than there is in Gwinnett County. But if you look at the roads in Henry County, most of all those roads are no truck roads. The thing that makes it ironic is that a county like Henry County, like when it comes to their roads, they won't uphold an infrastructure that will support that much industry. They're all about bringing industry into their county, but they don't want to do anything to uphold or support that added industry when it comes to the roads. It's crazy. You would think that like taxes and stuff like that would provide enough income for the county to improve their roads. And maybe it does, but maybe they're not spending that money on their roads. Maybe they're spending it on other stuff. The funny thing about it is, if you compare it to Gwinnett County, like I said, Gwinnett County is probably 5 times the size of Henry County. But they don't even have as much industry. I mean, they might have more commercial areas than Henry County does, but I doubt they have more industry. But Gwinnett County has great roads. And like I said, they have county maintained roads that allot access for trucks. You guys get what I'm saying? It's kind of frustrating, really. So it's like Gwinnett County's taking this tax money, and yeah, taxes are high there, but you can tell that they're actually taking that money and they're using it to improve the conditions in their county. Henry County, not so much. So I'm just talking about these two different counties to kind of compare them as we drive through Jackson here. We're making a left turn to stay on Georgia 36. We're going to go around this corner and then we're going to start heading north. another reason why I'm bringing all this up about the roads and stuff in Gwinnett County and all that is because we're actually going to get on a couple of roads that aren't state highways or US route. We're going to get on some county maintained roads that they actually let trucks use. And I'm going to show you that, yeah, the trucks, the roads, they're beat up, they're cracked up, you know, they look pretty bad, but at least they're there, you know what I'm saying? And because they are there, it's helping things. It's improving the traffic conditions. I mean, they're not great. Traffic's still really bad there, but I could only imagine how bad it would be if they didn't maintain and provide these roads for trucks in Gwinnett County. Another reason why I'm talking about this stuff is because, well, this is all one topic that I'm gonna be covering over in my new YouTube channel. Now, I kind of explained to you guys what the deal was in the last video about all that stuff, that I'm working on new content. It's not going to be a truck vlogging channel, but it's still going to be about truck driving. It's going to be about the industry, and it's going to have knowledge and information in it. It's going to have valuable knowledge, I think, that I've learned through experience, through research. A lot of it I've learned through valuable lessons throughout the span of my career as a truck driver. And so I'm trying to figure out the best way to present it to people in an appealing and engaging kind of a way on YouTube. At this point, I'm serious enough about it that I'm actually considering it as a second job. And I'm hoping to have some brand new content put out there in the near future. I can't give you an exact date of when it's going to be published on YouTube, but I will let you know as soon as it's ready. Okay guys, we are going to turn left off of 36 and onto this other Georgia highway. It's 162 right here at the fork. Left turn, now headed northwest. Now this road is going to come out on the other side in Newton County. So we were in Butts County, and we're going to head into Newton County, into the outskirts of a little city called Porterdale. We're gonna get on some county roads actually and make our way over to Interstate 20. After we jump on 20, we're gonna head west toward Atlanta, but we're gonna get off at the exit for Georgia Highway 124. We're gonna take that north up into Gwinnett County, right there where I'm talking about, that exit for 124 off of I-20. That's Dekalb County. And we're gonna drive from that point up 124 into Gwinnett County, which is where we're gonna jump off. We're gonna get on those county roads that I was talking about. Once we do that, we're not gonna be that far away from Home Depot. Yeah guys, they are okay, first of all, this is the intersection of 162 and 212. As you can see, Newton County's tax dollars are at work. They are roundabouting the South. One thing you might have heard about the South is that the certain plant, which is an invasive species called kudzu. You may have heard the old expression, kudzu was the vine that ate the South, right? But you probably haven't heard the new expression is that kudzu was the vine that ate the South, but then the DOT came and cut all the kudzu down and put a roundabout right there instead. They are roundabouting the South. That's what they're doing. It's pretty lame, I know, but still it's true, okay? It's true. Okay, I want to point out the view up here. It's kind of nice. After this intersection right here is kind of a dangerous intersection. A lot of accidents happen right here because of this blonde curve. But I mentioned before, like the Piedmont area of Georgia, and me living in this area. So because this is the Piedmont area, there's a lot of hills and stuff. And you wouldn't really normally recognize or realize how high the elevation is right here until you come up on views like this. But there is a lot of variation in the elevation, especially in this particular area. We're going up a slight grade right here. And it's gonna open up right here. See if you guys can see it across there. See that? It's a pretty good sized hill. I mean, it's not like where we were in the last video, but it's a pretty respectable hill, I would say. But this is what's called the Highlands in this area right here of Newton County. Gotta watch these school buses. It's right around time for school to get out, so I'm gonna come around one of these blonde corners too fast and have a school bus stopped in front of me. I gotta be careful. We're getting kind of close to that little town I was talking about, Porterdale. Now, 162 actually forks off to the left up here, and it goes into Rockdale County. But I mean, we could go that way, but there's going to be more traffic if we do. So instead, I'm going to come down here to Porterdale. See, 162, it forks off to the left there. And this is the 162 connector. Another important point that I can point out about a road, this right here, it's not Highway 162, but it is a Highway 162 connector. And normally when you're in a truck trying to navigate and you see the word connector on a sign, it'll have the highway number and it'll say connector on it. That's just an alternate route to get to that highway. It connects whatever road you're turning off of. In this case, down here, it'll be Georgia Highway 81 that connects, you know. So that's another thing that you can look out for when you're navigating a truck. I'm just throwing a tip in there for you. That anytime you see the word spur or connector or anything like that, 99.9% of the time, I'm sure you're good to be on it in a truck. It won't be restricted. Got our sign, Porterdale city limit. We're approaching the stop sign where we'll be turning right. Ooh, look at that dog chasing after us. We'll be chasing the stops. We'll be turning right. We won't be chasing any stop signs, but we will be turning right onto Highway 81 for 1 second though, like literally just a second. See, junction 81. We have to make this right turn in order to get up to the next intersection, which is going to put us on to Crowell Road, which is, again, it's a county road, but it's a truck access road because it's going to get us to the interstate. Now, one interesting thing to point out about this intersection is that if you turn right, you probably can't see the sign up there between the two red lights, but it says Covington Bypass on it. Again, another road that trucks are allowed on, despite it not being a highway. It is a county maintained road, but it is the main route for trucks to use in order to bypass Covington. Now, we could also continue going straight right here on Highway 81, which would take us to Covington, like straight to it. But you notice the bypass, it kind of goes around. And if you were to stay on the road in front of us going in that direction, eventually Highway 81 would veer off to the left, which is what you would have to do if you were in a truck, because if you stayed going straight, it would take you into Covington Square, which trucks are not allowed in. So it's just, you know, again, it's just a special rule that Newton County has. I've taken you through several town squares where, you know, the county doesn't have any issue with the truck driving through the square. Well, that's not the case here in Covington. So hopefully you can see by all this information I'm talking about, hopefully you can see that, you know, every place you go to is particular. You know, every place you go to is going to have certain rules. They're not going to match up with each other. A lot of times it'll have a lot to do with industry itself. You know, if there was a lot of industry, like industrial areas over off of the town square over there in Covington, then they would have to adjust the rules for truck routing. You know, they'd either have to let trucks go through the square, or they would have to create a specific truck route for a truck to use. And they kind of already have that. Like I said, it's Highway 81, but it doesn't go through the square. It kind of turns off before you get to the square. If you're wondering how I know all this, no, I'm not a know-it-all. I just, you know, these are all situations that I've faced in my history of truck driving, things I've dealt with and things I've learned. And that's why I know so much about it. This is actually the area that I'm from. I'm born and raised. If you turn left on this road right here, Brown Bridge Road, and you went down probably about 5 miles or so, there's a little neighborhood down there on the right. That's where I was born and raised, you know, brought up. From birth up until the point that I was 17 years old, I lived in the same house. So I know a lot about this area. Damn, what happened to their golf course? There used to be a golf course over there. What happened to that place? It's all overgrown. People in Covington decide they don't like golf as much as they thought they did. Crowell Road right here, it's gonna get us to I-20 in a couple miles. Okay, coming up on a pretty busy intersection up here. Again, more road work happening right here. I guess they're widening the road right here. The interstate's right up here though, up this hill. There's a couple traffic lights. like they're putting a brand new road in right there. Probably to try to improve things right here. This is a really busy intersection. You've got the access road coming across right here, and then you've also got the the access to the interstate, and they're like right next to each other. Both roads stay really busy most of the time, so it gets kind of crazy. You notice the two traffic lights, they're right next to, there's like two intersections right next to each other. That never typically works very well when you got two traffic lights set up like that. Going west. Okay, now that we're going west, we'll be going through Rockdale County, city of Conyers, before we get to Dekalb County, like I was saying, and get off at that exit for 124. Man, that tow truck right there, his brakes are burning up. Look at that. You guys see the smoke coming off that truck? Might be his exhaust, but it looked like it was his brakes. Just smoking them. Okay, so that highway we were on before, 162. Here's the exit for it right here. Remember, I was saying we could stay on it and still get to the interstate, but I decided not to because traffic up here on this road, it's called Salem Road, it's pretty bad around this time, so I decided to go this other way. But that's the exit for it right there. Might have to get over. I had to get over for this on-ramp up here. Okay, now we're in Conyers. Saw some flashing lights on the shoulder up here, so I'm gonna get over. I'm gonna leave JB Hunt some room in case he decides. Okay, he's not gonna get over. I'm gonna stay in this lane until we get past the next two exits, because the on-ramps for those exits, sometimes they can get pretty full and you have a bunch of traffic merging onto the interstate, so better to be in this center lane. This is like the main exit for Conyers right here. You guys may have heard of Conyers before for a few reasons. In '96, the Olympics, you know how they were in Atlanta? Well, the equestrian stuff for the Olympics were here in Conyers. They built like a horse park, a huge horse park for the equestrian things involving the Summer Olympics that year. They had it here in Conyers. There's a few different things that made Conyers well known. So we get past this next exit, or on-ramp for this next exit, we should be good. We can get back over if we need to. Ain't nobody behind me at the moment. So we gotta cross one more exit, and then the one after that will be ours. Yeah, we just drove all the way across Rockdale County, and we're on the other side of it now. I'm attempting to show you guys some new stuff, some new areas that I haven't shown you before. There's a paintball place right there. And we got a sign for Dekalb County. City of Stonecrest. This is our exit. Turner Hill Road, Georgia 124. We're gonna make a right. Start heading north once again. It's another, again, kind of a busy intersection right here. Can be known to be a little bit challenging from time to time. Congested, I think that's the best word for it. That new Quick Trip over there, that used to be a truck stop, and it's like the only freaking truck stop that was in this area, and they got rid of it. Now there are no truck stops between like 285, which is another probably 15 miles west of here, all the way, to Madison, going east on 20. No truck stops. Like none. That flatbed, you guys saw the red truck that passed us. He's hauling that concrete from core slab that I've shown it to you before. Made a video about it actually right after I got this job. Hauling those concrete slabs, planks, whatever you want to call them. Probably going to a construction site over here somewhere. There's something about the road right here in front of us that I don't like. If you're not expecting it, it could potentially cause an accident. There's no painted lines right here because of the intersection. So you have to pay attention and know to veer over here to the right. If you don't, then you're risking having a collision with the traffic to the side of you. They might run into you. And because it's on a blind hill like it is, just looking at it from that intersection, you might not notice that. But if you were to keep just driving straight ahead, you'd end up in that lane, coming over on the traffic in that lane. I don't like that about that intersection. Noticed it last time I came through here. It's a little deceiving. But now we're on 124 going north, headed up through the top of Dekalb County. We'll be in Gwinnett County after that. It's a little bit of a drive. There's a lot of stone and stuff, like the ground around here. There's a lot of just granite sticking up out of the ground. You guys see it? We're not that far from Stone Mountain, which if you know anything about that, it's a huge granite outcrop that sticks up out of the ground. There's a lot of that kind of stuff around here. Yeah, I haven't hauled any of that concrete in a while. Been doing this Scott stuff every day. As far as I know, the season, it falls off sometime next month. So after that, I guess I'll be going back out onto the road and staying gone, you know, sleeping in the truck Monday through Friday, you know, coming back on the weekends like I was doing last year. As far as the SAP stuff goes, I did get another drug test. They finally sent me another one last month. And I found out some important stuff, guys. I started doing some research on it, and I figured out a bunch of stuff about the SAP program that I didn't know, like official stuff. I found a document from the FMCSA talking about, you know, it was like a kind of like a training guide for SAP counselors, and basically it goes over the whole process. And despite what my SAP counselor told me and what other people told me, they obviously don't know the actual rules, because I read the rules from this document, and like I said, it's like an official stuff, came from the FMCSA, and apparently the minimum amount of time for step 6, like the random follow-up testing, which is the last part of the SAP program, the minimum amount of time that you have is 1 year. So that if it's 1 year for me, that means that I'm not gonna get through it. I'm not gonna be done until September, because that's when I got my first follow-up done, was in September. That'll be a year. That means I got another 4 months. But that also means I'm 2/3 of the way through it. I'm over halfway through it, so that's awesome. You know, it's something to look forward to for sure. If we're not already in Gwinnett County, we're getting pretty close. Maybe you guys can see that little sign right there. Maybe not though, but there's a lot of no truck signs on a lot of these roads, but if you look closer, it actually says no trucks over 36,000 pounds gross vehicle weight. So if you were empty and you had a truck like a sleeper truck like what I've got, and you were empty, you'd still be able to get on that road. It all depends on the weight of your truck and everything, but under some circumstances, if you had a real light load, then you'd still be able to get on that road. There's a lot of roads like that around here. What I'm hauling right now, no, that's well over 36,000 pounds. But eventually we're gonna be making a left turn up here onto let's call it Bethany Church Rd. And I looked a little bit closer. It is a state highway. I didn't notice before that it was, but it is. But the road that we're gonna jump onto on the other side of US 78 is not a state highway. It's a county road, and it is a truck access road. So it's one of those special circumstances, like I was saying earlier, that, you know, Gwinnett County, they've got quite a bit of roads that are maintained by their county that trucks are allowed on. And I don't know if that's specifically because they have such a high income due to all the taxes here, or if they have some kind of an incentive from the state because the county's so large, and because there are so many cities inside of Gwinnett County. There's a lot of cities here because the county's so big. The Again, it's one of the biggest, wealthiest counties in the state. Also one of the cleanest counties in the state, I would say. I don't really know what the crime rate is here. I have to look all that stuff up, but it's also definitely one of the most populated counties. Now, I looked at everything on Google Earth. I don't think I've been to this store yet. It's a new one that I have yet to experience, but there seems to be an entrance for the docks from the road on the back side of the store. So that means I'll be taking a block around to the back side of the store instead of trying to go through the front parking lot to get there. I'm going to take an actual road to get around to the back side. Okay, I can see the intersection we're going to turn left at. Junction 264. Right here. We're about 3 miles away. Might have it. All right. It's pretty residential right here. School bus in front of us coming to a stop. Right on the blonde curve. There it is. So there's a lot of factors that go into assessing the right thing to do to get in and out of these shopping centers that I'm going to. And obviously you're looking at Google Earth at the property, you're trying to find the path of least resistance. One of the main things that can become an issue is that, you know, Google Earth, you're looking at these pictures and this imagery, but you don't know how old it is. That can become a problem potentially, because things can change. But I found what looks like an entrance, like I said, from the road. That state highway that we were on ended back there at that intersection. Now we're on a county road. And in order to get access to this entrance in the back of this shit, they got it closed. You see what I'm saying? I can't turn onto that road. So I'm gonna have to correct that mistake. See, you can't see stuff like that on Google Earth. That road goes right into the back of that Home Depot, but they got it closed off. I can't go that way. All I can do now is make a right turn up here on this other road and just hope that I'm allowed on it. It's going to take me back out to 78, and I'm going to end up having to go through the front parking lot of the shopping center to get in. So see, you can't always avoid stuff like that. It looked pretty promising just from looking at it on Google Earth. It looked pretty promising, like it would work. But see, if I turn right here, this is yeah. See, this is a road I'm not supposed to be on. But if I don't turn right here, I'm screwed. So it's kind of imperative that I get on this road to correct my mistake. And see, that's the trouble with truck driving. Even when you do your homework and you do your research and everything, you still might run into an issue, and it might force you into having to do something like this to correct your mistake. And when that's the case, you're kind of at the mercy of the road. But you know, as I've said before in previous videos, when stuff like this happens, you just stay calm and you work through it, you work it out. Figure it out as you go, but don't panic, because if you panic, then you'll start making bigger mistakes, and then you might end up, you know, having an accident or something like that. Sometimes you might have to break the rules a little bit to make things work. Just don't do anything stupid, you know? You still got to have really good judgment. Even though you might break a rule or two to get yourself out of hot water, you still have to use good judgment. And really all it is it's all judgment. It all comes down to judgment. Okay, now we're on 78, which we just drove across a few minutes ago, and we'll be coming in through the front side now. I'm gonna have to figure out which entrance is the best entrance to pull into from the front side, which, I mean, I would have done that if I would have known that the damn road was going to be closed. Then I would have done that to begin with, but my plan failed on me. So it's pretty narrow. The options, they're pretty narrow. It looks like there might actually only be one way in from the front side. I'm gonna pull into this one instead. Not a whole lot of room right here. I was looking down there in that direction, and it doesn't look like it's very wide, so you know, I just don't know. Don't know, but I'm about to find out. Some of these stores, like the one I went to this morning, it was damn near impossible to get in and out of. I made a little short clip about it. And the store where the guy parked right in front of the sign that says no parking anytime. Oh God, this looks so small. It looks small, but it looks like it's just big enough to get through. Looks like it just might work if I do it just right. gonna take a look over here and see, because I'm telling you, what I saw on Google Earth was that there are 2 openings just up here where you have access to this road right here, but it was closed on that side. I was blocked off back there. So it might not be closed on this side. Yeah, it's only closed right there. You see that? There's the other side of the fence. So there's a fence right there, and there's a fence down there. We already saw the other one. But look, there's an entrance here, and there's another entrance right there. So if I would have came around the shopping center on this side, I would have been able to get in here. Oh well, at least I know now for future reference that road right there is closed. All right guys, okay, so after all that, they need me in the front of the parking lot because that's where they unload mulch. Okay, so there is an opening over here between, you know, this store right here. This is PetSmart. I don't know if I'm gonna fit through there or not. I seriously doubt it. I seriously doubt it. No, I can't fit through that. That means I'm gonna have to go back out to the road. This is kind of a unique store because, I mean, unless I go back the way that I came, which I could do. I could actually do that. I might do that instead of going back out on the road. I don't know. Because it's going to be hell trying to make a left turn into the parking lot from 78. So I might just go this way. Might just make a big U-turn right here. This store is kind of a pain in the ass right here. Again, this isn't my only option. I could have went back out to the main road, but I don't want to do that because I'm going to be having to make a left turn off of 78 to get into the parking lot. And I don't even know if there's a traffic light to help me do that. So I might as well just go around this way, the way that I came. But some of them are like this. They'll make you jump through flaming hoops to unload you, and you just have to deal with it. You know, it sucks. So go to where the mulch is. I see a bunch of stuff over here. I can't tell what's mulch though out of all of it. I don't really know. But yeah, I just figured that would be easier than having to go back out to the main road out there and then try to make a left turn in here. There might be a traffic light right there, but there's a median out there. You see that? So I would have had to do it the way that I just did it. There is no traffic light, by the way. No traffic light. Okay, all right, I see him over there. No, I'm in the wrong spot. The mulch is over here. Sorry, guys. Yeah, this is their mulch. But now I'm blocking the damn road. I need to figure out where they want me to be. They just expect you to know this stuff, like just automatically know exactly what they want you to do. Every store is different, you know. If they're not out here, that means they're not ready to unload me, and I'm not gonna attempt to adjust to get into any particular position until they tell me where they want me to be, because there's no point. It's too narrow to sit down there. You know, I was just down there and I was blocking that roadway, so I can't do that. Again, like I said, I could possibly pull in right there, and there's a good spot. It looks like a place where they'd be able to unload me, but then as far as getting out of that, I'd have to back up on my blind side to get out of that. Not to mention the fact that I'm gonna be all over that curb. Apparently you can see the tire tracks right there where other trucks have done that. I don't wanna do that. I don't like running over curbs when I'm loaded and I'm heavy. It's not good for your rims, it's not good for your tires, not good for anything. And some of these freaking stores, man, they can get a little bit ridiculous with their expectations and where they want to unload you at. It's no joke. I mean, I've had certain stores tell me to do all kinds of just crazy off the wall crap to unload me. Now see, in their eyes, they're thinking that's the best way to do it because it's the safest way to do it. They can control the traffic easier if I'm over there. They don't want to have a forklift over here on this part of the road because it's busy. And I understand that, but sometimes you have to make exceptions. Here he comes.
Hey, what's up, man? Hey, so question.
Yeah.
So we've been unloading if, like, the driver's been pulling up in the PetSmart parking lot, and we've been unloading right there because we load up right here. Are you able to do that?
Are you talking about going over this curb right here where the tire tracks are?
So
the next one over?
The next one over. Yeah, so
okay.
The drivers have been doing this. They've been going and then they've been able to turn around and they can just park and then we can unload right there because there's enough space for you to turn around.
Okay, you want me to turn around first or wait till after you're up?
It's up to you.
All right, I'll wait because it'll be easier to do it that way.
Okay.
So I'll just pull in right there.
Okay, thank you.
Finally, I got somebody to talk to me. Finally. Good deal. I'm gonna have to take this real wide. Because like I said, I'm trying to avoid those curbs. I'm gonna take it real wide and not start turning it back over until my tires clear that curb. There we go. And then like you said, I'll turn around. See, I thought about this, but I didn't think that, you know, PetSmart would appreciate me just pulling in right here. So that's why I didn't do it this way. I mean, I get it, it's challenging. Some of these places, there's not a lot of room no matter what you decide to do. They're just, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't kind of thing. All right. Okay guys, well, they're unloading me. I made it. That was a hassle. If you couldn't tell, that was a big hassle, but at least they're getting it done. I really wish that when I went into receiving right after I first got here, I really wish that the guy in receiving that talked to the people in garden, because it's always garden that unloads you. It's always going to be the garden department. Whoever operates the forklift in the garden department, they're the ones that are going to unload you. But receiving has to talk to them in order to communicate where they want to unload you at, right? So the guy should have asked someone from the garden department, preferably the forklift operator, okay, where do you want him at? And he did ask them that, but all he told me to do was come to the front side of the parking lot. That's all he said. But if he would have gave me specific instructions saying, okay, you know how there's Home Depot over here and there's PetSmart right here, right? Pull into the parking lot, the far side of the parking lot of PetSmart. That's where they'll unload you. If he would have just said that to me, if he would have just clarified that with garden, then it would have saved me so much trouble just now. But people, you know, if it doesn't pertain to them and it's not their problem, then they're not going to put forth the extra effort to help you out. That's just how people are, okay? Like, I get it, I understand, but still, I mean, that was a hassle for me. Now, the last thing I want to show you is the hassle that it's going to be to get out of here, because just like I said before, you know, earlier when I told you guys I talked to receiving and they told me to come around to the front, and I was trying to figure out if I should come back out onto the road to come around front, or if I should just pull around to the front the same way that I came in. And then when I did it the same way that I came in, I looked out onto 78 out there, and I realized there's a freaking median blocking the center of the road, so you can't make a left turn, which is what I have to do. You can't make a left turn out of this parking lot, so the only thing I can do is just make a right turn, or perhaps take this little road. There's a little road down here. It's the same road that I was on, that I had to back up on to get out of everybody's way. If I'm thinking, if I keep taking that road down that way, there's going to be another road down there that I can turn left on, and then after I do that, there should be a traffic light intersection connecting whatever that road is with 78, because I have to make a left turn out of here. Either that, or I'm going to have to go out of my way to turn around somewhere else. But I have to go this way to get back. I have to. So I'm gonna figure that out. I'll film that just so you know. I'm kind of documenting this just to show you guys my strategy and the way that I think, the way that I solve problems. I'm not saying that I'm a whiz at this, or that I'm the best or anything like that. I don't think I'm the best at all, but I'm just showing you the method that I use and proving to you how I make things work. Like I said, it's not easy most of the time, but I'm trying to document and show you how I do this. That way, you know, if you've never done this before, or there's a chance you might be doing like dedicated stuff in the future, you can see how I do it and see how it works for me. I'm trying to be descriptive without being too over descriptive and just downright boring about it. I'm trying to keep it engaging for you. But anyway, I'll film myself leaving out of here, and I'll show you how I figured it out. Okay guys, I'm looking at it now. I just want to show you, I just realized it occurred to me, hey dummy, look at it on Google Earth, don't just assume anything. So I decided to open Google Earth back up here. So here's the Home Depot where I'm at right now. I'm sitting on this aisle right here at PetSmart. Okay, now what I need to do is, as I was saying, I'm going to turn around right here, and I'm going to turn right there. But check this out. That left turn I was saying, turn left. This road right here connects at the intersection with 78, right? I told you guys I have to turn left. I have to turn left. Well, look at this shit. That's not an option. You see that? See the intersection? You cannot turn left out of there. So I'm going to be forced to make a right turn, unfortunately, which is going to have me heading in the wrong direction. There's no way to get around that. No, well actually there's no, it's forced. It's forced. There's no way to do that unless, hang on, I don't want to get ahead of myself. There might be a way to do it. Okay, so I'm brainstorming here. I'm trying to figure out what my other options are. If I take a right turn, look at this, check this out. I'm right here again. If I come up on this right here and I make a right turn out of here instead of a left turn, I can come back to this intersection. Remember, this is the road that we saw that was closed. It's all blocked off right here. No access right there. Now they're doing that to control truck traffic. I guarantee you that's why they're doing that. So if I make a left turn right here and come down to this next intersection, check this out, down here, and I make another left turn right here, check out what's at this intersection. There's a left turning lane. That means there's a light right here. You see that? That means I can turn left on 78 instead of being forced to turn right and then try to make a U-turn somewhere else, or try to find some other side road that's gonna get me heading in a direction that I don't want to go in. So if you notice, like I said, if you're coming out of this parking lot right here, traffic control has got it set up to where you're always forced to make a right turn, no matter which road you're using to get out of the parking lot. You're forced to make a right turn every single time, because there's a median right here blocking your ability to make that left turn. And I understand why they're doing that, because they don't want you turning left across the whole highway of US 78. That's kind of dangerous without a traffic light. That's why I figured they'd have one right here, but they don't. No traffic light right there. So regardless of whether or not this is a truck road or not, I'm basically being forced to go this way out of the parking lot, make a left turn at this intersection, make another left turn at this intersection so that I can turn left on 78. You see all that running around I'm having to do to get out of this predicament? Now, there are ways that you can sharpen up your skills in order to pick up on stuff like this. See, this is something that it's not obvious. There are no signs, there's no nothing in this area telling you that, but I can tell from experience. Automatically I can tell what's going to work and what's not going to work, and I know I can't make a left turn out of the shopping center. So there we go. I just explained to you what I'm going to do. I just figured it out. It only took me about a minute to solve my problem. Now we're going to put it into practice as soon as I'm able to get out of here, so stay tuned. I have to turn around in this parking lot and head that way. You guys notice something about this? Look at these little openings. What do you see? Those posts, right? That's something else I gotta look out for. I'm looking at it and I'm seeing that this little opening right here is the only one that has space on the other side of it. And that might just be the enough space. That might be what I have to do, just go through that one. I'm also going to be doing this stuff like you guys saw how it was earlier, right? I had all these vehicles crowding around me when I was trying to make small maneuvers, fine maneuvers. I had vehicles just crowding around me, not giving me enough space. Well, this is gonna be a fine maneuver kind of situation right here. You see, it'd probably be easier for me to go out of this one, but because I'm turning right there, I'm afraid I might hit, you see those two posts right there? That's what I'm concerned about. I'm gonna need to be straightened out more by the time I get there to make that right turn. So that's why I'm thinking that this is probably the best one to try in order to do this. But again, this is still tight right here. This is still tight. Even with all this other space up here, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make that turn or not. I don't think I will. So I'm gonna use this one. I'm sitting here looking at it, trying to gauge it. But you see, there's also a light post right here. just wasn't made for trucks. Because of that, well, it's a problem. I hope I'm able to do this, you guys. This is gonna be a tough turn right here. And lo and behold, they're turning. So I'm gonna have to back up. See, I can't do anything. I've always got vehicles crammed up my ass. Every time I try to do something in a truck in one of these parking lots, I get bum rushed every single freaking time, no matter what. It's frustrating. All right, attempt number 2. Are you turning right in here? You're not using your damn turn signal, so how am I supposed to know? Okay, here's the freaking problem right here. This is it. That's the freaking problem right there. That ain't gonna work. I'm gonna have to back up. Yeah, see, I knew. I knew it. Freaking knew it. Just wasn't enough room. I had to get up on that curb. It'll be all right. But it's looking good now. So we just come down here to this next stop sign. We make a left turn. That is so messed up, man. I mean, you're screwed. If you have to go to that Home Depot, just automatically, you're just screwed. Because when you get in the back, they're gonna make you go around to the front, then they're not gonna tell you where they want you to be. You have to end up sitting there, you're blocking traffic, trying to get by you, but you're so big you're taking all the space up so nobody can get around you. Okay, then they want you to pull up into the parking lot for another company to unload you. You're taking up space on that company's property. So then you do what they want you to do, and then you find that to get out, you're gonna have to be forced to make a right turn that you don't need to make, that you don't want to freaking make. Well, then when you try to, you know, adjust that and go in the other direction so that you can work your way around it and get to a traffic light intersection so that you can make a left turn, because that's really the direction that you need to go in, you find that you just don't have enough room to make that turn. You guys, those freaking yellow posts in that parking lot, you know why they have those yellow posts? To keep trucks from going up in there. Well, they just made me go up in there to unload me. So their parking lot was actually designed to deter trucks from driving around in it, but it turns out that they forced me to drive around in it. So it wasn't just not designed for trucks, it was actually designed to be anti-truck. Like, it was designed to absolutely eliminate the possibility for a truck to get into it without damaging something. Sometimes all the odds are against you and you just have to freaking make it work anyway. Even when I got hung up on that corner, I couldn't back up because I had a dozen vehicles waiting on me to get out of the way. I had vehicles behind me and I had vehicles on both sides of me. And they were all, ironically enough, in my way, waiting for me to get out of their way, not realizing that I can't get out of their way until they get out of my way, because I need space to maneuver. So that was really messed up just now. What I did, it was messed up. And some of these damn stores, man, that's just the way it is. It sucks. See, if they had a traffic light intersection in front of the Home Depot back there, then it would have just prevented everything that I had to do. But they didn't have a traffic light. All they had was a right turn only to leave the freaking place, which is absolutely ridiculous. Because this is, keep in mind, guys, I know I'm over explaining everything, but keep in mind, this is US 78 right here. If you're driving down this road in the wrong direction, you've got work to do. You've got problems. It's not gonna be easy for you to turn around on this road. You can't just do a U-turn on this road. You can't. And there's all these small commercial businesses with all these small parking lots, and you're not going to be able to pull into any of these parking lots and turn around either, not without some serious challenge, and then possibly even having law enforcement called on you. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's kind of drawn out, but I think it was an interesting one. I had a lot of content and a lot of stuff happened in this video. So if you enjoyed it, please leave a thumbs up. Please leave some comments. Communicate with me if you watch my videos. Let me know what's going on with you, how your life is going. You know, can we be friends? You're already watching my videos. Will you be my friend? Will you communicate with me? I'm curious about my audience. Anyway, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Take it easy.